All tax schemes can be characterized as either progressive or regressive. Progressive taxes require those with higher incomes to pay a higher percentage of their income on those particular taxes. The impact of regressive taxes is exactly the opposite. They require those with lower incomes to pay a higher percentage of their income on such taxes. Most income tax schemes are progressive because they usually rely on graduated rates which increase the percentage of income paid as income rises. In contrast, property and sales taxes tend to be regressive in nature by virtue of the fact that they make everybody pay the same flat rate. But if everybody pays the same rate, shouldn't such taxes be considered neutral? That is, neither progressive nor regressive. The key to understanding these concepts is to focus exclusively on the percentage of one's income that is paid for each type of tax. A look at how the numbers work in these tax schemes helps illustrate the concepts of progressive and regressive taxes. A good example of how income taxes can be progressive is provided by the current federal income tax system. The federal income tax rates for 2018 listed in the table on the right show, for instance, that the first $9,525 earned by a single individual is taxed at the 10% rate. The next $29,725 up to $38,700 is taxed at 15%, and so on. The same system applies if you're filing as a married couple or as an individual. The federal income tax schedule has an additional progressive feature: standard deductions from taxation on the first few $1,000s of income earned. In 2018, taxpayers enjoyed a standard deduction from income taxes on the first $12,000 of income when filing as an individual and $24,000 when filing jointly with a spouse as a married couple. Income taxes are not inherently progressive, but in practice they tend to be structured that way. Critics of raising tax rates as income levels increase often advocate changing the current system to a so-called flat income tax system, which would require all income earners to pay the same single rate. Often these proposals are grounded in the very understandable frustration felt over the complexity of our income tax system and the numerous loopholes and exemptions that are used to promote specific social policies. Still others support a flat federal income tax because they see it as the most equitable system for its equal treatment of all taxpayers. Now, let's discuss regressive taxes by examining a hypothetical sales taxes on a flat screen TV. Property and sales tax rates are generally the same for everybody. The current sales tax rate in Texas is 6.25% for the city rate, but existing law allows for up to 2% more for county, city, and other local sales taxes. Because these rates are uniform regardless of the payer's income, the tax for a particular good or piece of property represents a lower percentage of a wealthy person's income than of a less wealthy person's income. The table on the bottom shows the amount of tax paid on a $2,000 flat screen TV at a tax rate of 8.25%, which is the maximum allowed in Texas. Regardless of how much money someone makes, they will pay the exact same amount, $165 in sales tax. But person 1 paid 1.65% of their entire yearly salary in taxes for this one purchase. and person 2 paid only 0.17% of their yearly salary in taxes on the same purchase. This means that person 1, who's considered poor, paid almost 10 times more as a percentage of their yearly salary than person 2, who most would consider wealthy. This is why many consider regressive tax as unfair to the poor, particularly the working poor in our society. People who prefer the sales tax as the basis for funding the state government are often quick to argue that such taxes are not regressive. The rich buy more things and they own more expensive houses, cars, boats, etc. Consequently, they end up paying much more in both sales and property taxes. This is certainly true. Nevertheless, the wealthy get to enjoy all of those goods while paying the same tax rates as those who are much less wealthy. It is by this criterion that such flat tax rates are, by definition, regressive.